everyone. My name is Kara Sewell, and I am joined with Christina Etchery today. And we are going to be talking about ACT test scores for U.S. students have actually dropped to the lowest level in 30 years. But before we jump into that, I want to allow Christina to introduce herself, who she's with, what she does. So, hi, Christina.
Hi, Kara. How are you today?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. So I'm Christina Etchery. I'm Director of Institutional Improvement for ScholarShot. So do a lot of everything, looking at how students are succeeding in post-secondary and access to post-secondary and all that good stuff, all things college related.
Okay, so then you know a lot about ACT scores, ACT testing. And when I read the headline, I immediately wanted to go check out the article. This came out just a few weeks ago from the Associated Press and some other different outlets, news outlets around the country. So ACT test scores falling to lowest level in 32 years. And I was just curious initially when you heard that, what your thoughts were.
Well, one, I was surprised as well, but two, also not surprised. Our scores have been slowly declining over the last decade or so. And I think that there's a lot behind it. We have a higher population now than we've ever had before of English as second language learners who are attempting this test. And then we also have changed how we teach and the kind of programming that we use to teach kids how to read and how to do math, which are basic to both ACT and SAT exams.
And I understand, having spoken with you in the past, that there are colleges who are test optional, meaning you don't have to submit an ACT or SAT. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
But this still matters. And why do you think this still matters, even though you may be looking at a college that is test optional?
So these test scores still matter because for a lot of reasons. One, it is an indication of college readiness. These are national standardized tests that colleges used to look at to determine whether or not you were ready to enter their university. With the rigor and the courses that you would maybe be taking. Second, it is still important to merit scholarship. So the higher the ACT score, the more possibility that you have of obtaining merit scholarship money, which is dollars, right? That's free money, basically. The third reason is that a lot of colleges, even if they are test optional, they will still use it to place you in freshman level courses. So, for example, a friend of mine whose son was just admitted to a technical school, engineering school, if he scored above a certain number on his ACT in math, then he gets to opt out of those freshman level math classes. So those still matter, which again is free money. If you don't have to take a class, that puts you ahead, which then reduces the number of years that you will possibly be in school.
Yeah, and someone says free money or go, wait, hey a second.
Right.
That grabs your attention. So
yeah, absolutely.
What can be done? Because obviously, people are taking notice, right? So
yes.
what are some solutions out there to make sure these kids do meet those college readiness benchmarks?
Well, I think that a lot of public school districts are taking a step in the right direction by offering the ACT and SAT for free during a student's junior year. Now, for many students, that's the first time they will see this particular type of test. The downside or the negative of that is that schools are not really focusing on how to prepare these students to take the test. We just simply say, hey, you're going to take this test on October whatever during the day, and it's free, so you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is register. But we're not doing anything to help them get ready for it. These are unique tests. They're not like a STAR test. They're not like an end of course exam. So it's important that students study to prepare for them. And there are enormous amounts of free resources where a student can take practice tests, look at question answers and strategies, and it's free. You just have to go online. There's several ones that I would recommend more than others, but treating the preparation for these exams like an extra class. 30 minutes a day, an hour a week, or however you want to do it, depending on when you want to get started. Most schools will start giving this exam in 8th grade. So pretty early on in your secondary career.
Wow, that is early. I
Mhm.
will say that ScholarShot's Facebook and Instagram accounts
Mhm.
do have some of those free resources
Yes.
that have been shared. So, anyone can go over there and screenshot and save those, which is awesome because, like you said, you all highlighted some of the best ones.
Yes.
Not all are created equal.
Exactly. And I will tell you, I mean, I even had my daughter use a couple of those resources as well when she was getting ready. So I personally would recommend them. I tell parents about them. It's also part of my job to help share the word. I think that the more a student sees the test and sees the kind of questions and is able to practice, the better you will do.
Do you think that people just automatically assume it's like the other basic sort of standardized tests, and so that's where that sort of almost like I can wing it. I've done this before. I do it in class.
Yes, I think that especially students think that, oh, it's just another test. And in public schools, especially, we test our students to death. They are constantly being tested on a number of things. And so they look at this and think, okay, great. I've done, all these other map testing, et cetera. But they're different. These are very different. They require a different kind of strategy. They require preparation and they matter. So you want to do better than you would just kind of wing it and be like, yeah, I've done these tests before. So
Well, you mentioned 8th grade, but when
Mhm.
should you really start looking at practicing? Like truly, when should parents and students look at going, okay, I need to kind of wrap my head around this?
I really think that probably spring semester of sophomore year, you begin to lay out a plan to prepare. Whether that means finding and settling on some resources, taking a practice exam of either SAT or ACT in order to compare and see which one you might feel more comfortable with. But there are a lot of different ways to approach it, right? So I think that spring of your sophomore year, you start looking at and exploring the resources, you start taking some practice tests and really kind of, setting up a study schedule so that when you take them for real in your junior year, you will be better off. A lot of students, once they take it in their junior year, will choose to take it again, sometimes 3 times, and the last time being usually fall of their senior year.
All right, great information. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap up today?
Really, I just want to say, look, if the test itself is moving online, so you really want to think about where you can find resources that mimic the actual exam. And we have those on our ScholarShot Facebook and Instagram pages for you. You can also purchase going to a used bookstore or even like a Barnes and Noble or whatever. You can buy a newer book and they have QR codes on the back that then give you access to additional online practice tests. So don't waste time. It really does matter.
All right, Christina, thank you so very much. We appreciate
You're
it. And as
welcome.
she mentioned, as always, if you want more information about ScholarShot, you can go to scholarshot.org and check that out. They've got a ton of resources available there on their social media site and on their website. Okay, Christina, I guess we'll see you
Awesome.
on the next
On the next episode.
exactly. All right, see you next time.